It's good to be all recording.
Hi, Girish. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm good, good. Thanks. I would like to thank you very much for the invite for this session. For those who might watch it after, just a reminder that we had an encounter in the studios of the NBC 1 year ago during the lockdown,
Yeah.
and you shared the various techniques to boost the immune system. And I found that
Mhm.
you're a very interesting person. Unfortunately,
Thank you.
encounter is not being reported at the moment since almost many months now. So when you told me let's
Mhm.
have an interactive session between me and you and me, so I said why not? Let's go for it. And I found the topic that we could talk about is motivation, keeping your
Mm.
motivation high, especially during a lockdown, because I have a lot of memories from the previous lockdown. Now we're in a situation of a partial lockdown, but still, more or less, many things remain the same. And I'm hoping I don't do the same mistakes again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fine to
So
make
what?
mistakes. That's how we learn, right?
Yeah. So one of the things that had done last time during the lockdown is, which is exactly the same situation I'm right now. So I still work as a journalist at the NBC. So I work one day, I'm off another day, and it goes on till the lockdown continues.
Mhm.
So on the days that I
Mhm.
work, of course, and on the days that I don't work, of course, there's work to do at home. Uh, but I find it's very easy to just when you have some free time, just sit down, relax, and watch something, eat. And I'm not as proactive as I normally am when in a normal routine. So probably you could help me find the reason why this happens, because it's happening again now. Just to share a
Mhm.
story, I haven't done yoga in 2 weeks. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's okay to give my body a break, which is true. And also, I was having
Mhm.
a back pain, so I don't feel it anymore now. It took me about 1 week to. I rather let it heal, and I was not feeling too well also. But yeah, so how are you keeping the motivation during the lockdown? Because in your normal routine, you do many things, and it's still
Mhm.
during this time where we're supposed to be more going towards ourselves and discovering what really matters, what is really important. You seem to have your way around.
Yeah, because the thing is, I view everything as being impermanent. So when lockdown happens, for me, it's okay. I mean, it could have happened. If lockdown didn't happen, I would be doing different things. So I'm not affected by it as such. I mean, the routine changes, but you do what you can with what you have. And I think some people have difficulty getting into a new routine because they love their routine so much. You have a way of living. You do this, you do that, and specific time intervals. You go to the gym during the weekend. You do this and that, and suddenly it's changed. So
Yeah,
it's as if your identity has changed. You're no longer operating the way you were operating before. So that's kind of destabilizing. So that's one thing. But if you think about it, everything is changing. I mean, in your body itself, you have cells which die every day. You are changing. I mean, age-wise, you grow older every day. Everything changes, but we kind of think that our life is like this. But in our life, every day, everything is constantly changing. And if you really digest that big truth, you'll be okay with whatever happens. And that means really tragic things as well, like possibly also means someone very close to you not being alive the next day. And that's the
okay.
deepest truth
Can I
and
share
beauty of
something with
life,
you?
actually, that
Yeah, I'm a
mm,
bit lazing around during this confinement. Yes, I'm still working, but I'm still lazing around. I'm not doing any physical activities. 2 weeks, 2 weeks won't make a big difference. But you know what? I'm
mm,
telling myself it's okay. I'm not I'm
mm,
not I'm not I'm not I'm not going crazy about it because I know it will come back. I'm
yeah,
je le prends comme un temps de répit. It's you know what? Give yourself a break. Give yourself a good break.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But then also you
Yeah.
think that there's so much you could have done. And I always say there's so many books I have to read, but it's still on the shelf.
But you know why you feel bad? Because I think we are so used to doing so much that when we don't do things, we think it's wrong. But actually, not doing is doing in a way. I mean, when you sit for meditation, let's say, for some people it's not non-doing, but actually it is doing something. It's one of the most beautiful and sacred things to do. So there is a
Yeah.
difference between non-action and non-doing. And you know what's the difference in Zen philosophy? The difference is, I'll tell you that now, clear. The difference is non-doing means that you're not doing what you should be doing in the moment. For example, let's say you have to go to a party. Okay, you've been invited to go somewhere. You go there, but you really deep down don't want to be there. So you're going there, you're faking smiles, and you're trying to socialize and stuff like that. That's probably not you, Roshan, because you're very someone who interacts a lot, but that's probably me. And
oh no, you'll be surprised. I don't interact a lot since 5-6 years now. I don't have time. I don't hardly meet people. This is a common misconception because I work in the media. People think that I party a lot.
Yeah,
I think it's to do with the face. But no, not anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have time from work. Yoga 2-3 times a week, swimming once a week, running once a week, and doing whatever you have to do on your off day. My week is full, and spending time with my brother and 2 sisters and their families. Time's up. So
Okay, good.
Yeah. Just wanted to clarify.
Okay, so that's us then. So doing
so you were
something,
saying, going to a party, you don't want to go to the party, so yeah.
That's non-doing
you.
because you're not in the moment there. And there are so many examples about it. For example, you driving, getting stuck in traffic, and you telling yourself, why is there so much traffic? So you don't want to be there. That becomes non-doing, and that becomes a cause of suffering. But if you're really home and you really don't want to do anything, you want to binge eat and watch a serial for, I don't know, 2 hours, if that's your thing, you really want to do it and you enjoy doing it, after these 2 hours, you actually feel happy, there's nothing wrong with it. So you know, in Zen, we have a very simple way of looking at it. If you do something, and at the end of the activity, you actually feel better, it's good for you. And that could be watching TV, that could be not doing anything, that could be you lying down, absolutely not doing anything. If you actually feel better because you kind of rested and all that, it's good. But the same context now, let's say you're binge eating and watching TV for half a day and your eyes are all sore after half the day, then you're probably doing something wrong, because then it's not healthy. So you don't always have to be active. That's the point. You could be lazy. Being lazy is good at times. Otherwise, we wouldn't sleep. Sleeping is important.
So you were comparing between non-doing and non-action. Girish?
Yeah, because in non-action, you could actually be still doing. Yeah. So for example, when you're meditating, you're not doing an action, but you're still doing the meditation. You're still there fully.
But to continue on what you said, if you want to do it, you do it. You want to watch for 2 hours and you feel better after it. Yes, okay. But that's on one side, versus when you draw a line versus the duties that I feel I have to do towards myself is probably I have a confinement, so I have more time than ever to be doing yoga. I have more time than ever to be reading. I have more than time to be working on my assignments. So um, the priorities, okay, the house, of course, the priority that's been taken care. Work is the priority, of course, that's being taken care. But the other things that can wait, it's not a priority, but it should be there. Don't you think so?
Hmm. So you're saying you can't make the things you want to be priority a priority. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, let's say. I think reading is very important. Doing physical activities is very important. Watching a series also is as good for them. I mean, you have a balance of everything you do. You don't just keep on doing one thing or just eat, be on social media, just watch series. But it's important to do other things also, right? So let's say the confinements, we don't find, we've been in lockdown for 3 weeks, probably, almost 4
Yeah,
weeks.
3 weeks.
Let's say it lasts for another 4 weeks. So if you keep the same pattern, then you look back, you say, you know, that's been 2 months. I could have done so much more things, many more things during that time.
Yeah. So you're saying you're not
regret.
being productive.
I'm not being proactive.
Proactive. Okay. And why do you think that's the case?
Well, it's just fun to relax, right? Well, I'm not criticizing, but you know, going out there and work, being an essential worker, going on the field, it's very stressful. And then coming back, and you have to do your reportage. I'm not saying stressful as in, but it's a lot of there are many things to process, and then you, of course, your health and safety of yourself, of your family. Of course, so far so good. I've been vaccinated 2 weeks ago, but sometimes I'm so tired that the next day I just want to laze around, because then I know that the next day I have to go back on the field. It's like I stop preparing myself mentally to do that. So maybe yes, maybe no. I mean, I could justify myself. And
with exercise or being proactive or even meditation, there's no good time for it. I was talking to a friend, I think yesterday, about it, and if you think about meditation itself, you don't need to do it when you're very calm in the morning before eating. I mean, that's what we usually say. But the real practice is actually when you sit in meditation and you are in deep trouble, actually. Maybe you're very sick and you can't stand on your feet and you're sitting for meditation. So when you don't feel like doing it and you're still doing it, that's the real practice. Like for me, a few days ago.
I remember we had a conversation on this before.
Really?
It was very interesting.
We did?
Yeah, we did have, because sometimes you tell yourself you're stuck in traffic. What do? Just hum Om Mani Padme Om, or just hum Om, and you can't do anything about it. But that also becomes a kind of meditation.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
I do that sometimes when I drive. I tell myself, you know what? I will not curse people.
Yeah, so, which is quite tough.
Like, it just works. It just works, because then I've realized that when you do that, when I'm driving, of course you focus on your driving, but when you do your Om, I'm also become very conscious of my breathing. But my focus does not become focused on. I don't focus on my breathing. I become even more focused on my driving.
Yeah.
Because I become in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So meditation doesn't have to be a specific time or in a specific posture. It could be any time. Or as you mentioned, when you're in trouble, you were saying a few days ago, I interrupted you, so
Yeah,
sorry for
yeah,
that.
yeah. No, I was saying, I think a few days ago I was very stressed, overwhelmed, overloaded. It happens sometimes. And you sometimes reach the point where you really can't cope now. It's really on the top now, and a bit more, you're going to actually burst. So what I basically did is I was feeling very overwhelmed. I sat down in meditation posture. I looked at the wall for 45 minutes. And all the things came, the waves of thoughts, the feelings of anxiety, you not being here, everything came, but I just stayed still. And after 45 minutes, it was as if a reset. So I didn't
You
try
know
to
what
push
happened
anything
there?
away. Mm.
What happened there? You know what happened?
Yeah, tell me.
I'm guessing for 45 minutes, it allowed you to digest what was really happening. That your head is underwater and you can't breathe. So what you have to do is
Mm-hmm.
try to get your head out. So you have only two
Mm-hmm.
hands, two legs, one head. So you can do as much as you
Yeah.
can. Probably you
Mm-hmm.
start accepting that, you know what, maybe there are one or two things I won't be able to do. But let's start by let's accept what is the real situation. Probably that's what you did in 45 minutes, which is amazing. Some people can take days and weeks to come to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And I think that is the answer to your question too. I think if we
What do you
really
mean?
accept it fully, I mean, to all the anxiety, not being able to be proactive and all that, I think somehow maybe deep inside of you, you did not still accept the situation fully. I mean, it is as it is right now. And yeah, it's super stressful, but when I come home, I'll try to find the 15 minutes for yoga and still do the other things. Maybe because
One
we've
thing
been
also I've
uprooted
realized,
from
yeah,
the routine. Mm,
I was about to say that because from the routine when I work normally, I love everything that I do. I don't have time.
yeah.
But when you're routine, it's I wouldn't say everything goes in perfectly, but you know exactly how it goes. That's why
Mm,
you call it routine. But now,
yeah.
for you to, what I've been saying to myself is, yeah, I should probably start waking up at 6 in the morning and do my pranayam, my asanas, and the meditation. But I haven't
Mm-hmm.
started yet. It's been 2 3 weeks. Then I've started asking myself
Mm-hmm.
the question: am I putting too much pressure on myself because it has to be in a certain way, which is perfect, so that I can do it, and it hasn't happened yet,
Mm-hmm.
or just do it and
Mm-hmm.
then. So I've been having a voice within me that tells you know what, even if it's not exactly how you should do it. Okay, you woke up at 7 o'clock, 7:30, not 6 o'clock, but at least do it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a voice inside me that tells you, you know what? If you start doing that, just do it. Eventually, with time, you will get where you need to be because then you will find a way to get it done. So you have more experience in this.
Mm. Yeah, but you're right. And we have the story of the different horses in Buddhism. So imagine the horses we have, which we put in races. So you have a jockey and a horse, and then they get whipped, right? And then they race. So we have that horse which will actually run very fast and be quick without being whipped. So
Yeah.
without the jockey whipping the horse, and the horse will just run very quick. And then you
Mm-hmm.
have the other horse, which will actually get whipped, feel the pain, and then run.
Yeah.
All right. And most people think that the first horse, the one which doesn't get whipped and actually run very fast, is the best.
Mm.
But if you look at it from a Buddhist perspective, the horse which can actually have the pain and not be as good as the first one, but still run the race, that's a very valuable horse, in fact. And the reality is sometimes we are the first one and sometimes we are the other one. And both are valuable. Sometimes you're super quick at doing things and things get done easily. And sometimes we have to be with the pain and actually run the race. which is fine as
So
well. But
one horse is proactive, one horse is reactive, and both of them are
yeah,
fine.
yeah, and both of them are fine because we can't be proactive the whole time.
But most people are reactive. I find a lot of things that I do are reactive. I'm reacting.
But I think you're proactive too in many things. But maybe deep inside, you prefer that side of you where you're proactive.
I would like to think so, but reality is different.
Yeah, but both are actually part of you. And when you're like in deep trouble and you have like the perfect attitude, that is a valuable thing, because you can't always be super fit, super positive, and the one who solves everything. Sometimes you mess up, but the attitude you have when you mess up, I think that's the beauty of life and the beauty of things. When you accept that you messed up, and and I think that's it. I mean, like I was telling you that that day where I got super angry and overloaded. To me, this is fine too. Maybe some other person will say, "Oh, but how can you be angry and you meditate the whole day for hours? You teach people how to meditate. How can you lose it?" It's fine. But it's the attitude you have when you see it coming, something will happen, and you actually have that reflex of calming things down and getting back. This is what it is.
Probably next time when it will happen, you will already see the signs, what is coming, and you will already know what to do. You will already recognize the pointers.
Yeah, because we're obsessed with achieving that state. It is something. It's amazing though, because man, if you can look at the wall for 45 minutes, still, nothing can move you.
I can't do that.
And that's the whole practice of Zen. If you can stay still looking at the wall, alone with all your emotions, all your thoughts, and be still in it, nothing can move you. But at the same time, everything moves you also.
I would be sleeping by 20 minutes.
No, it's an amazing experience. You see, sometimes the simplest thing is actually the hardest thing. Like looking at the wall, looking at someone's eyes, holding the hands of someone, and just talking to the person. That's the hardest thing.
Probably not holding hands at the moment now.
Yeah, not right now. Yeah, virtually maybe.
A virtual shoulder.
Virtual shoulder, yeah. But these are the hardest things. And we're constantly talking about enlightenment and that state or the fifth dimension or whatever. But I was texting you about that yesterday, I think. Waking up, being grateful you're alive, going in the garden and breathing fresh air, listening to the birds, walking on the grass barefoot. I mean, that's the magic to me. I don't need anything else.